What is up, guys? This is WFCW, and today we are revealing the rosters for the WFCW draft. It started over my Instagram this week, revealed the number 1 overall pick, and that is it. The rest is happening here today on YouTube for all of you to see. As you can see, currently on your screen is Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff and SmackDown General Manager Paul Heyman with their champions and 2 that qualified for their Money in the Bank ladder matches that'll be coming soon at the pay-per-views that they both had. And the number 1 rule going into this draft was that they get to keep the people that won at the pay-per-view. Major spoilers here for people who haven't seen the pay-per-view. But the number 1 overall pick went to SmackDown. And that clip is going to be shown to you now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk is the first overall draft pick in the WFCW draft. He is going to SmackDown. What will he do there? No one knows. But he will be there, and he will most likely be there for their first episode post-Insanity, which should be coming soon. But now that CM Punk is over on SmackDown, we need to find out who is going to Raw and who else is going to SmackDown, which we will do right now. I've cleaned out the area, and now we can figure out who is going where, because now it is time to reveal the rest of the rosters, and we will be starting on Raw's side because SmackDown was given number 1 overall, and they took CM Punk, so now it is time to figure out who is going to Raw. And that man is the man who came up short in the main event at Raw's pay-per-view against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. He is Kenny Omega. What will Kenny do on Raw? Who knows? Will he go after Randy Orton? Will he try something else? Who knows? Guess we'll have to find out on Raw. SmackDown, on the other hand, has taken a massive pick here because their next pick is all 4 members of the Undisputed Era, who 3 of the 4, excluding Roddy Strong, came up short at SmackDown's Insanity. Roddy did not come up short because he didn't wrestle. But, moving on, Raw is taking, with their next pick, Pac. The reason they're taking Pac this high is because he, number 1, is amazing, and number 2, he interrupted the post-match celebration of Finn Balor after he defeated Jeff Hardy for the YouTube Championship at TakeOver. So, what will happen between those 2? Guess we'll find out. SmackDown, excuse me. SmackDown's next pick is none other than Seth Rollins. Whoa, his arm is weird. Seth Rollins. Seth came up short against Johnny Gargano over here. He is the first to switch brands, I believe, yeah. The first to switch brands, Seth Rollins. And now, there's not going to be a real order to this because I am picking out of my best these buckets I got over here of the rosters because I did a lot of work writing. Raw has taken, with their next pick, Eddie Guerrero, debuting legend. We saw him in the backstage area video that I made. Go check that out if you haven't. I said he would most likely be coming, and he is. He's going to Raw. Up next, SmackDown decided to take the man that was feuding with their general manager and then ended up losing to Darby Allin in his qualifying match for Money in the Bank, MJF. MJF probably won't be happy about this decision. We'll have to see what he has to say on SmackDown. Up next, Raw took another man who came up short, but this time on the Insanity Show against Keith Lee. That man is Roman Reigns. What will Roman do now that he is away from Keith Lee? Up next, SmackDown is choosing one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Edge. Raw, up next, is taking a 2-for-1 deal here that is not a tag team. If I can find number 2. There he is. They're taking a 2-for-1 deal here. And Bobby Lashley and MVP. Probably the most deadly duo WFCW could get. And they did for Raw. Up next, a man that was only seen one time, I believe, in the beginning of WFCW. The man is Kevin Owens. He's going to SmackDown. I love this figure. It's beautiful. Up next, for Raw, another man that came up short on pay-per-view. Staying on the same brand, Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist. He lost to Cody Rhodes, nearly damaged his ankle severely. Thankfully, Cody was okay, finished the match, and ended up winning the match, becoming WFCW United States Champion. Well, up next, for the SmackDown side, quite possibly the greatest wrestler of all time, John Cena. This Ultimate Edition is incredible. Go pick it up if you haven't. Next, for Raw, they are taking another great wrestler, one of my favorites in the world at the moment, Bryan Danielson. He lost to Pete Dunne, or Butch. He will never be called that on WFCW unless it's a joke. I don't like SmackDown now. Up next for SmackDown, I was talking about real SmackDown, by the way. The current WWE Intercontinental Champion, he hasn't done much yet in WFCW except for lose once or twice. Will he bounce back? We'll find out. Next for Raw, their first tag team. Tag team that was included in a triple threat match at TakeOver. Rey Fenix, Pentagon Jr., Penta El Zero Miedo, whatever you want to call them. The Lucha Brothers. Hope to see Rey Fenix back on TV too. That was brutal what happened to him. Next, for SmackDown, is a brand new, not the first brand new superstar, we've had a couple of those, but a brand new superstar. Next for SmackDown is Sammy Guevara. This figure is incredible. One of my favorites AEW Jazzwares has made. Next is for Raw. And the pick is Matt Riddle. Okay, I had to deal with something with my dogs, but we are back. We are better than ever. And Matt Riddle is on Raw, and we are awaiting the next pick for SmackDown. And the next pick for SmackDown is the man who came up short in the main event of their pay-per-view, Shawn Michaels. Gotta wonder how Shawn's gonna bounce back after taking a tough loss in the main event of Insanity. But we will find out on SmackDown. Up next for Raw is Drew McIntyre with the old jacket on here because I thought it was cool. My head skin's a little messed up. The eyes are weird. I don't know if you could tell on camera. SmackDown is up next, excuse me. And they are taking a brand new superstar for them. He has been on Raw before. He wrestled on their pay-per-view. Came up short against Finn Balor. He is the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. I love this fix-up I made of him with this is the Top Talents t-shirt for those who were wondering, with a Elite something head sculpt, and this is the entrance rates body. Up next is Raw, and they are taking Sami Zayn. I'm actually kind of interested in his match with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania. This will probably get posted after that, though. SmackDown is looking to improve their tag team division with this next pick, because they are taking quite possibly the best WWE tag team ever, if not, well, yes, ever. One of my favorites, The New Day. Happy to see Woods back on TV as well. This is not a draft pick, but I am putting him here because I forgot to display him earlier. The manager for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, Arn Anderson. Arn won't be following Cody to WWE, I don't believe. So, that's not a thing anymore. And who knows if Cody's going to WWE? Maybe it's a giant swerve. But the pick, is Shinsuke Nakamura. No Rick Boogs, because that's kind of dumb. I like it, though. It's good dumb. Up next for SmackDown, they're bringing the hits with the tag team division because they're bringing rivals to the New Day in my favorite tag team feud in WWE that I've got to see in my lifetime. The Usos. They're doing great stuff right now with Roman, even though they're kind of like second to him. I think they're wrestling Nakamura and Boogs on WrestleMania, which is sweet because Nakamura gets to be on WrestleMania. Up next for Raw, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Got to see him live in Pittsburgh for AEW. And he, is now a sports entertainer again. Chris Jericho is heading to Raw. Up next is SmackDown. And they are choosing a man who appeared on a joint show uploaded to my channel in a triple threat match against Keith Lee and Rey Fenix. He is John Morrison. That match was so much fun to do. John Morrison and Ray Phoenix are two of the best high flyers I could have picked. I'm glad I did. Raw is choosing, with their next pick, quite possibly the most underrated wrestler of all time. Or maybe not underrated, just underutilized. He is Shelton Benjamin. Where will we see Shelton go on Raw? Up next, a man who appeared for SmackDown one time before this video. He had a match against Hangman Adam Page, which is probably one of my favorites I've filmed up to this point that wasn't on pay-per-view. He is, the Hurricane. Knocked up one of my poster boards that I've got here to match the floor. Up next is a father and son tag team, which can basically only mean one thing. Dominic and Rey Mysterio are heading to Mondays. Not Mondays, though. Just Raw. And sticking with the theme of tag teams, we are going with one of my favorite tag teams of current WWE. Otis and Chad Gable, the Alpha Academy, who are amazing on TV. I love watching them. Up next is a Raw pick and a former WWE guy who is still a free agent at the time of recording this. Cesaro. I'm recording this after I just got done watching Ring of Honor Supercard, or Supercard of Honor, or whatever it was called. Samoa Joe? That's insane. I was falling asleep. I saw Samoa Joe and I woke up immediately. But enough about Ring of Honor and Samoa Joe for now, because SmackDown's next pick is Buddy Murphy / Matthews. He'll be Murphy for now. Maybe we'll get an AEW figure of him someday. Maybe in line or set like Unrivaled number 30. Someday. We can hope. Up next is a man who has a match against Adam Cole on Wednesday for AEW and is going to be bringing a lot of experience and a lot of underutilization in WWE to WFCW. He is Christian. I don't know what my last sentence meant, really, but I just wanted to say he was underutilized. He should have gotten another world title reign. He's so good. Up next is one of my favorite gimmick tag teams ever. They were fun to watch in 2016, 2017 SmackDown, which is one of my favorite eras of all time, because I was like 10 when it happened, so I watched literally all the wrestling I could. The pick, Breezango, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze. I saw something about Dango retiring the other day. I don't know if that was true or not. Is he? Let me know. Up next is a man who I wish got more screen time instead of jobbing out to Omos every week. It's Apollo Crews. I love this white gear, and I was going to order it on Ringside, but I never did until I found it in D&E Collectibles, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go there if you have time or you're in the area. Please, it is so great. Up next is a brand new tag team to WFCW. For SmackDown, they are picking Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, former members of the Inner Circle. Raw sort of outweighs SmackDown in the numbers here, so we may get back-to-back picks towards the end of Raw. But right now, we're good. And Raw is picking the brand new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and my personal favorite tag team right now in the world, FTR, or Face TR, because they turned on MJF or whatever last week. Up next, for SmackDown, is the current NXT champion, which I think is pretty cool, even though he's losing it tomorrow to Braun Breaker. I'm recording this Friday at like 11:30. So, if Dolph loses, I'm right. Ooh, that's not the right person. Hold on. Up next is a team that I thought was pretty cool when they were in WWE, but they never really got enough time to shine. They are Lince Dorado, Gran Metalik, and Kalisto, the Lucha House Party. Isn't Gran Metalik in GCW now? Let me know. I think he is. If he is, it's pretty cool. Up next is one dirty dog to go with Dolph Ziggler, a man who deserves a lot better in WWE because he's great. Bobby Roode. I'm not calling him Robert Roode. That's stupid. Up next is a Raw pick, and they are taking Andrade El Idolo. I love what they did with Jeff Hardy and them. Alright, we're getting down to the bottom of the barrel here. We've got 2 left for SmackDown, and we have, let me count, counting as I grab them, 3 left for Raw, so we'll get 2 back-to-back here. Or no, we won't. It is 2 left for Raw because one of them is a tag team. And I'll introduce them now. They are Eric and Ivar. I don't know which way it goes. It's confusing. Hanson and Rowe. That's how I know them. The Viking Raiders going to Raw. Up next is a person who I think could do much better outside of Los Lotharios. He was pretty good in NXT. He is Angel Garza with the rip-off pants still on. Up next is SmackDown's pick because I want to make a joke. It's Cedric Alexander going to SmackDown. He needs a new figure. I thought we were supposed to get Hurt Business figures of all of them. Where'd that go? And the final pick of the WFCW draft, Mr. Irrelevant, even though he's not really irrelevant, Austin Theory. I love this guy. What he's doing with Vince right now is pretty fun to watch, especially with Pat McAfee involved. He is the greatest human ever. But that is it. Those are the rosters. And now I get to go film build-up for the first episode of Raw, which you guys will need to go over and follow me on Instagram for, because I'll be posting it all on there, just like I posted the CM Punk video on Instagram before putting it in this video. So, go follow me on Instagram, and look out for new content coming out on there before the first episode of Raw comes out. I'll see you guys there.